Hi Tony, thanks for joining us. We're just going to have a little
Hi, Chris.
give everyone a minute or so just to kind of join. So we'll just have a minute or so. But yeah, how are things are? You guys busy?
Yeah, really busy at the moment, which is great, especially during these times. So, a lot of clients have had the opportunity to assess what they really need in their spaces at home. So, which has really impacted us quite a bit. So,
Yeah,
and thankfully, we've been able to help out with their needs.
yeah, good, good. So it must have been an interesting year then for you guys so far.
Yeah, it'll be quite interesting. I mean, we usually, as you know, we exhibit at six different live shows. So, from the Ideal Home Show to Grand Designs, home building, renovating shows. So we actually get to meet people face to face and shake hands, which
Yeah,
can't do anymore. Um, but obviously, we've changed our business model with regards to that. So, going more online, having a lot more Zoom and Teams calls, really, which has really changed the way we operate, and even potentially going forward makes us a lot more efficient. So,
yeah,
rather than going out to the site that's 40 miles away, we can actually Zoom the client and be in the room at the same time without leaving our office. So, making our time more valuable and efficient in that
yeah.
sense. So,
That's what I love about what you've done there. Like, it's not just that first bit of contact, which is obviously really important, and you've opened up the door wider in that sense. But you've brought it into other processes, haven't you? And made that part of the journey kind of smoother and than it was before as well. So you've definitely embraced technology for the good of everyone. So cool. Okay. Well, we'll make a start. So yeah, I guess for the benefit of everyone that's joining us now. So do you want to start with a bit of background for Anthony Mullan Furniture and yourself and your role there?
yeah, no problem, Chris. So, hi, my name's Tony Mullan. As you can probably see, I am one of the directors here at Anthony Mullan Furniture. I've been with Anthony Mullan about 15 years now. Anthony's my father, so I came into the company after finishing university. Started off as an intern, effectively, with doing all the CAD work and visuals, designing for other designers. Then became a sales designer myself, sales manager, and then became a director in 2016, I think. So I've helped, I think, in my opinion, grow the business from running at 1.6 revenue base to £3 million revenue per year in terms of sales and marketing, advertising, that sort of thing, and also really focusing on our customer service in that sense, and really bringing everything together in that sense.
So you guys have grown then a lot over, well, so we've been working together a few years now, a good few years now, and seen lots of growth and development. And yeah, I guess it's, so obviously kitchen's a big focus for this weekend, the things we've got you talking about, but it's also bedrooms and studies. I'm guessing that's where you've been quite popular with people this year as well, and how you've seen sort of things change design wise and in people's mindsets as much as anything else.
Yeah, I mean, there has been a lot more focuses, or focus on studies, obviously
Yeah,
home studies with, obviously with recent events, a lot of people now working from home. Like I previously mentioned, the way we've changed our kind of dynamics of, we've just tried to embrace as much as the change as possible.
yeah,
So, we try so many new things with the company. It's not being afraid, really.
yeah,
Trying different things from things like what we're doing today. This is our
yeah,
third, I think, virtual show.
yeah,
Um, from our designs, effectively. So we've been more challenging ourselves with our designs and processes, and obviously that has a great knock-on effect, where the
yeah.
fact that we're now fully booked until near enough the end of March, which is great.
Wow. Excellent. Okay, cool. All right. Well, you're here to talk about kitchens today. I know there's lots of interest in this area from all the registrations that have been coming in and the people that have joined us as well. So what we're going to do is kind of get into the areas you've prepared for us. So we'll come on to that quickly now. So all being well, you can see the screen there. And you've compiled your 7 tips for the dream kitchen scenario. So let's get into that. So tip 1, start at the top.
So I think my first tip, it's really about planning, and it's never too early to start thinking about your design. So, for instance, even if you're just thinking of what you're going to do with regards to an extension or knocking through a wall, you can come and see us prior to engaging with an architect, so we can really guide you on which is the best option, whether to knock down that wall between your kitchen and dining room, or to put on a 2 meter or a 3 meter or a 6 meter extension. Because really at that point, we can then start to formalize a design based on what you want, and then the architects and planners can then design it around that, rather than architects and planners designing a room with the kitchen design or the family room design not thought about. So they may position utility doors and windows in positions where they think looks great from their point of view, but from our point of view, if we just move, say, a window or utility door by a foot, for instance, you may get so much more storage in. So I think the first tip really focuses on, it's never too early to start thinking about that design, because from that initial planning will keep you in good stead going forward.
And I think from the areas I've seen in particular as well, that's just gone from strength to strength, is your design service, and just how you make that just feel like it's always been good from all the years I've known you guys. But it just seems to be going from strength to strength, and you're getting into like virtual reality now as well, aren't you? So even that, like you say, of being able to sort of visualize the space before it even becomes built, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, just reflecting on, going back to how long I've been here, I mean, I stumbled across a couple of visuals that I did maybe about 10 years ago, and it looked like something from 1943. It was just boxes. So comparing it from that to having a full virtual reality where, clients can stand in the new space, move around, look around, open up doors, drawers, that sort of thing. It makes our job so much easier because you don't have to sell. It sells itself.
Sure.
So, I've had numerous amount of clients that are just amazed at the quality of the graphics and how they actually feel in that space. So,
superb. Good. Okay. So tip 2.
Tip 2 is, it's combining with tip 1 as well, with regards to, making sure things, items such as your bifold doors in this instant here, or the Velux windows, they're all positioned in, the correct space and a dimension, really. So that, for instance, this one here where the cursor is, you can see the Velux windows. So we made sure with this design that they were approximately 800 millimeters away from the back wall, which enabled us to get, this tall run of furniture on the left-hand side into that kitchen there.
So you'd
really
go to
maximize
that. Yeah, you'd go to that
Sorry?
level. You'd go to that level beyond then, like, because I'd think of it of kind of the units, what they look like, the appliances perhaps, but I wouldn't ever think about how you then embrace things like the roof, natural light and things. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most of the architects that I kind of work with kind of hate me because I'm constantly saying, "Can you do this? Is this possible?" Because obviously that's not my area, of expertise. So I would have to rely on the likes of Design Work Studios for that.
Yeah.
For to say, "Can you do that?" Yes, you can. Great. I can then get all of this in. So
Very collaborative.
working with other companies is crucial in getting, the overall project complete, really.
Yeah. Okay. And the next tip then, tip 3.
Tip 3 is all about investing the time to find the right style and finish for your, obviously, space. Now, that could depend on a number of things, one being the style of the property. So, for instance, this style of kitchen, which is ultra modern, ultra sleek, very contemporary, this would not suit, in my opinion, other opinions may differ, in a thatched cottage style, off the beaten track property. So this is more suited to a townhouse, penthouse, or a new development, kitchen area. So really investing the right time in the style is crucial. So
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This one's on the river as well, isn't it? So I remember seeing, kind of how it looks out, and it just makes you want to be in the kitchen enjoying, the surroundings as well. So yeah, lovely.
Actually,
Tip 4.
Tip 4 is all about combining, obviously, with tip 1. So finding the right style and finish, and sorry, tip 3, and choosing a color that complements everything. So whichever kitchen you do opt for, whether it's contemporary, traditional, timeless, there's always 3 main important colors. You have your flooring, the furniture itself, and the work surfaces. So I normally would say get one of those 3 that you absolutely love, and then the other 2 follow. So we can then advise for you guys as well what sort of flooring you have, what style of flooring you have, what sort of worktops you have, and the style of that, as well as colors. So there's a lot more into consideration than just picking, I'm going to have navy blue, for instance. We've got to then complement that with the right floor and the right work surface.
And how about colors? Are they limited at all, like with you guys?
So with us, we are absolutely bespoke in that sense. So you can literally match the color of your shirt, Chris. Not that anyone would ever want to wear anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have 2 different kind of ranges at Anthony Mullan. So we have our Anthony Mullan signature range, which you can have absolutely any size, any color, and any style that you want. And it's completely bespoke. And then we have another range, which is Blossom Avenue, which also has an array of different colors, but more limited. So there's only about, I think, about 36 different colors in certain ranges. I mean, that's still quite a lot of colors to choose from, don't get me wrong. But the advantages of that sort of style and kitchen is the speed of turnaround.
Okay. Good. Okay. Next tip.
This is one of my favorite tips: is design your, kitchen, not necessarily around appliances, but you can make features, of appliances. Technology's come a long way. Well, appliances definitely have come a long way in terms of how they look, how they function. Years ago, you used to have a freestanding 500 millimeter wide stove, which was all in one with one of those ugly looking grills above. They've moved on. Everything's a lot more built in, a lot more sleek. If you look at this design here, perfectly centering the ovens on the back run, kind of making that feature where it's bang in the center. And then also, things like the wine cooler behind, matching the color of the furniture, all kind of, uses the design features of those appliances, which are fantastic.
Yeah.
There's also different variations on extractors now, which is great. So where you can actually have hobs and the extractor all in one unit. So no more having a big bulky extractor above your island or on the back of a wall. It can all be incorporated into one design.
Very nice. I'm guessing wine coolers are a big hit at the moment since lockdown, right?
Yes, yes, but keeping them stocked is the issue, I think.
Cool. So tip 6.
So we now are faced with not challenges and such, but clients now want to, again, time has moved on from, say, the 1980s, 1990s, where a kitchen just was a kitchen. So, that's all you would do in that. You would just cook and wash up and then go to another room. Now it's more about open plan living. So, for instance, this design here, we've actually got, as you can see, you've got the kitchen on the right hand side. On the top middle, you've kind of got a family room, so TV on the wall with some soft furnishings and the sofas, and then on the far left-hand corner, the dining room. Seats, 6 to 8 people. So really, this whole room is 3 rooms into one room now. So what is also very crucial, and where we do get involved, is using different lighting techniques to really separate those 3 areas. So as you can see with what we have done in the island straight in front of you, we've got under plinth lighting, we've got pendant lights that are above the island itself. So and obviously the main lighting in the ceiling. So when you are, say, in the family room or the dining room, you can turn off your main lights and keep those pendant lights and the under plinth lights on. So that really acts as a backdrop.
Right.
So it kind of then divides the room for you, which is lovely.
You're thinking 24 hours a day as well, different. So if it's nighttime, morning, yeah, kind of how the light's going to come in where and give you that nice
exactly
factor all day. Lovely. Yeah, very nice. Great. Okay. And then the final tip, probably a key one by look at the questions coming in. Yeah.
So my 7th and tip is all about, set a realistic budget. We cater to all types of budget, whether that be from 15,000 to 150,000. There's a lot of things that will dictate the spend of your actual kitchen. So the size of it will obviously be fundamental in the budget. The spec of appliances and the amount of appliances that you actually have. The style obviously will impact it as well. So setting that tone early on is quite crucial with us trying to design something and getting exactly what you guys want. Because what we don't want to be really doing is, putting in, if you've got a budget of, say, 20 or 25,000, coming back with this amazing design that you absolutely fall in love with, and it's 45,000. But I mean, that obviously has happened in the past, and there's ways to say, right, okay, so we can try and create something which is very similar, but just maybe tweaking a few things. The spec of appliances, spec of worktops, and the style. So
Great. Okay.
I think it's important is to be, try and be as open, as honest as possible in the initial kind of consultations, stage with us, so we can really get exactly what you want for what you want to spend.
Brilliant. Superb. All right. No, that's great, Tony. Thanks for that. So we're going to go on to some questions in a sec, but I just wanted to highlight to everyone, so because you've actually generously extended an offer to everyone that's visited Inspire Design Home Show this weekend. So for everyone that's watching, if you go to the exhibitor section and click into AMF's profile, you can actually fill in this form, and that will validate a 20% discount that they're offering off kitchens. So you just need to book a design consultation. That's right, Tanya, and then and that will kind of validate that with you guys. So that's superb. And then yeah, we'll kind of move on to some questions then, because we've had a few coming through. So I'll just stop the share for a sec. So someone's asked about it's anonymous, but kitchen islands, will they go out of fashion, do you think?
Not the way things are going. It's still all about creating that open plan living, and creating the space. I think they'll be more prominent now. Touching on one of my tips about making the appliances as design features, because with the introduction of say NEF, bringing out their vented extraction hob.
Yeah.
It just frees up the opportunity for design and where you position them. So I'll always try and position something like that on an island, rather than say your sink or your tap. So
Yeah.
it just becomes a lot more sociable.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, I don't think they would. I think they'll be more so going forward.
Okay, great. Richard's asked, should flooring go underneath cupboards or not? And what would you recommend for flooring? Is wood okay?
So good question. It's something that we get asked every single time. We will only fit our furniture on finished floor. And that is for two reasons. The first one is that things like integrated appliances, a dishwasher, a fridge freezer, they are all actually freestanding. So they sit on the floor, but they just have furniture doors on them. So they need to be at the same level as the floor. So it needs to go
Right.
underneath those appliances. And the second one is just the pure finishing of the flooring. So no matter how skilled the tiler is or the wood layer is getting that finish up to, say, panels.
Yeah.
It's never 100%. We would rather cut our panel to suit the floor, and then it's a clean finish. So there are two very good reasons why we need the flooring down before we install. To answer the second question about wooden flooring, absolutely fine. If it's solid wood, you do have to obviously keep that treated and maintain it. So every 2 to 3 years, you'd probably have to oil it, resand it potentially. There are other products out there which are fantastic. Something like Amtico or Carmdine, which is a very minimal thickness, but you get wood effect, tile effect. It's so simple and hard wearing, more importantly. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. And you touched on budget and setting a realistic budget, and someone's asked about how they should decide their budget. Have you got any advice on how to think about kind of what you should spend then on a kitchen?
Usually, I mean, we always kind of say it's about between 3 and 5% of the value of your property.
Okay.
So it's kind of a good gauge, but that's if you're doing the complete renovations, including say all the building works, bifold doors, all of that, and the kitchen as well. But one of our kitchens for our complete bespoke Anthony Mullan signature style is anywhere between 30 and 35,000. So what you basically get for that is obviously our complete design service, from the initial consultations through to the design process, the virtual reality, all the furniture included, all the appliances, including that most important wine cooler, stonework surfaces fitted by us and the VAT. Yeah. So I think for what we offer and the value that we offer it at is very, very competitive.
Sure.
You can get obviously a lot cheaper kitchens. You can get kitchens that are 6,000 to 10,000, but they don't include all of those items. They don't include that planning stage. They don't include appliances, worktops, or installation.
Yeah.
So
true cost.
It's not the true cost. There's always costs that are hidden that other companies may not disclose from the offset, whereas we try and be as transparent and open as possible in the initial stages, really.
Okay, we've got time for one more question. So, and actually, Tom Wood from Design Works Studios talked to me earlier about the kind of emotional roller coaster of build projects and things like in general, but obviously, kind of this year especially. And someone else has asked here, just in terms of the what would dictate how long an installation might take, and just I guess thinking about actually living in that situation with that kind of live project in a kitchen, being out of action potentially for a time period, and any tips around kind of how to think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like Tom said. So the industry that we're in, it's an emotional decision that you're making with regards to the style, the color. You're investing a lot of time in it, so obviously you want things to go 100% smoothly. Whichever industry that you're in, nothing ever goes 100% smoothly.
Yeah.
Just how you deal with certain situations that would crop up that should set us apart from different companies. How quickly we can turn something round, how quickly we can jump on a problem and create a solution.
Yeah.
Things like that. And obviously, if you're living in the situation where you don't have any, you don't have a sink, you don't have running water, and you've been using your bathtub for about 6 weeks, it does take its toll. We completely understand that and try to be as accommodating as possible and get things moving as quickly as possible. But from I mean, obviously I can't really comment on the build process. So from when we are initially due to go in, it should be approximately 4 weeks where you should be up and running with your kitchen.
Great. Okay. And a final bonus question, but someone's asked about, do you work in the Midlands? But do you want to just recap on the areas that you do cover, location-wise?
So we primarily work around a 50-mile radius of where we actually are located. So that's in Maidenhead, Berkshire. But yes, we've done kitchens in Spain. We've done kitchens in Belfast, Dublin. We've done several kitchens in Birmingham, Leeds, Leicester. If it makes sense financially for both us and the client, there's no reason why we wouldn't go to the middle.
Brilliant. Good to know. Okay. Well, thanks, Tony. That was absolutely brilliant. Lots of good advice and lovely, stunning pictures of your work there for everyone to see as well. So just to recap, obviously, Tony and the team are going to be available via live chat. So if you've got any questions, you can go into the profile and kind of text them through to the guys and actually fill in those forms as well, validate that offer. So Tony will be around. You're going to join us later at 4:00, aren't you, for the questions and answers kind of session we're doing with the panelists, and back tomorrow's talk in a bit more detail about different styles of kitchen, which we can kind of go into more then. So yeah, on behalf of everyone watching, thanks very much, and catch up with you later. Cheers, Tony.
That'd be great.
Thanks.